Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Ken Rogers. On this week's program, we talk with the State Director of the Farm Service Agency, David Schemm. Some deadlines are approaching to apply for aid from the federal government, if you haven't already done so. Plus, we're looking at ARC PLC sign-up for another year. We'll also have features from the Kansas Soybean Commission and Kansas Department of Agriculture, plus our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association and Paragon Ag Advisor.
Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Kansas Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farm and ranch families since 1919. KFB.org. And the Kansas Wheat Commission, lending in the adoption of profitable innovations from wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
In agricultural news from agview.net, the Department of Agriculture says the Farmers to Families Food Box program has distributed more than 20 million food boxes to families affected by COVID-19. In the latest announcement, Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue said this milestone is a testament to the program accomplishing what we intended, that is, supporting U.S. farmers and distributors and getting food to those who need it most. In April, Secretary Perdue announced that the food box effort was part of the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program that was developed to help farmers, ranchers, and consumers in response to the COVID-19 national emergency. Now, in just under 30 days, the program contracted for $1.2 billion in food products, including $461 million in fresh fruits and vegetables, $317 million in a variety of dairy products, $258 million in meat, $175 million in combo boxes of fresh produce, dairy, and meat products. Distribution of the food boxes across the U.S. began on May 15th. A federal judge sided with an agriculture coalition issuing a permanent injunction against California warning requirements of Prop 65 for glyphosate. The ruling removes the warning label of glyphosate. The judge in the case said providing misleading or false labels to consumers undermines California's interest accurately of informing its citizens of health risks. 2 years ago, that same judge ruled the government agencies and health organization that had been reviewing studies on glyphosate found there was no evidence that it caused cancer. Now, this ruling said it would be misleading at best to force parties to state that glyphosate containing products, that those products were known in the state to cause cancer. The lead plaintiff in the case was the National Association of Wheat Growers, and they welcomed that injunction. They said it's a great win for wheat growers and farmers across the U.S. And new data from USDA shows nearly half of all family farmers and their spouses reported having a job off the farm in 2018. The Economic Research Service at USDA reports the majority of households, regardless of farm size, said they worked off the farm because it's more lucrative than farm work, plus provides a more reliable income, and many offer health and retirement benefits. Among small farms, those with annual gross cash income under $350,000, about 88% reported working off the farm because it was more reliable, and 75% because it was more lucrative. About 40% of all principal operators or their spouses who work off the farm listed farm-related financial stress as a reason for having a job off the farm. Well, more on these and other stories at agview.net. Stay with us. More coming up.
Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Livestock Association, supporting members' business interests and meeting consumer demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. And Kansas Corn, building the future at kansascorn.com.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
And joining us is David Schemm, who is the State Director for Kansas for the Farm Service Agency. David, thanks for joining us.
Not a problem, Ken. I never realized I'd become quite as proficient as I have on this whole telecommunication now.
I think we all have, but we've caught you out at the farm. Of course, you're from far western Kansas, and you tried to catch a little wheat, but maybe just a couple of days early, at least when you and I are talking right now.
Yeah, the wheat's really come along. Obviously, we tend to be pretty used to wind out here, Ken, but we've had just, it seems like 2 weeks worth of 30 and 40 mile an hour wind and 90 plus temperatures. So obviously that really moves that wheat along pretty fast. But wheat's really changing. There has been some neighbors around that have cut some wheat. I haven't heard yet what results look. Amazingly, a lot of the wheat looks fairly decent out here, Ken, concerning the lack of moisture and the heat that we've had thus far. But I think there's been a little bit of delay. We've had some isolated showers here and there, but I definitely see as we come towards the weekend here, we'll be at full swing.
Well, David, we wanted to talk to you about several things going on at the Farm Service Agency. First and foremost is the sign up still going underway this summer for the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program. We know a CFAP to get assistance directly to farmers and ranchers.
Yeah, absolutely, Ken. And our offices have been doing just an absolutely outstanding job out there. Just like, the title says, that the pandemic or the COVID-19 has really put some challenges for our offices out there to continue to be able to serve producers. We've got locations where, we've got a fair amount of positive cases in a county, and they're increasing, and those offices have been really had to take some measures to make sure that everybody can stay safe. And then obviously, in some of our areas, some of the counties have not had a single case yet. And so, we're trying to hit a balance there and working with them. And so it's just been really amazing. Right now we have already approved and paid out over 26,000 applications on the CFAP, and that equates out to over $200 million that we have sent out there. So again, just absolutely amazing what the offices have gotten done.
Well, it is. It's a great partnership with producers getting their paperwork in, knowing what needs to take place, and staff being able to get that turned around, because I saw the first report that came out that Kansas was one of the leaders, in a sense, is getting that relief out to producers.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been definitely among the top states in being able to get that done. Just one little statistic here for you, Ken. It's just it's so impressive. Obviously, when a producer drops off their application, after they've gone in or talked with their, people in their office there, and they drop off that application, we've got to go in and review it. And then it's got to get submitted to that county committee for approval, so then it can be entered and get paid out. And, so there's a lot of steps to take there. We're actually turning out these applications in only about, actually a little bit less than 4.5 days. So it's just been amazing to me that, the offices, again, we're talking here over the phone that these offices are dealing with these same type of challenges and trying to make sure they can get these applications approved and back out to our producers. So, I know we had talked about it before. Obviously we had some RPLC for 2020 sign up going on. In fact, that deadline's coming up here at the end of the month here. So offices have been really busy trying to get those kind of wrapped up, because we knew when CFAP was opened up, I told them, I said, we're going to focus on this because we know our producers out there are needing this, especially our livestock producers.
David Schemm, who is the Kansas State Director for the Farm Service Agency, is our guest. Let's take a break. We'll come back with more in just a moment.
The Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. And agview.net, serving the Beef Belt and Western Corn Belt with reliable and relevant agriculture information. agview.net.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
And our guest this week is David Schemm, who is the state director for the Kansas Farm Service Agency and part of USDA, of course, if you didn't know that. But David, as we get back to business, if you will, Farm Service Agency is one that continued to stay open through the pandemic, but most offices are taking people in if they want to do a face-to-face, but there are some steps, and the biggest thing is call ahead and get that appointment, just like normal, but make sure that the folks are ready for you.
Absolutely, Ken. So, we've kind of got, and working based upon the administration's guidelines, we've got kind of reopening steps that we're doing with our county offices out there. And as I had mentioned earlier, obviously we've got offices and locations where there have been a lot of cases or cases are increasing. And so we've got kind of a series of, how would I call phases, Ken, that offices are going through. And, as long as we see a declining trend, or if there's been no cases in a county, we keep them in a certain what we call phase for about 2 weeks to make sure that we kind of see a trend going on there. And so by far the majority of our offices across the state are in what we would consider a phase one. And phase one is the doors are still locked. We do have employees in the offices. They're getting stuff done. But we're not allowing producers into those offices yet. But they can drop it off. Generally, we've got like a drop box there or folder that those producers can drop off their applications. We do already have 14 counties or offices in what we would consider phase two. And that's when, and I've heard it loud and clear from not just producers, but employees, they want that face-to-face interaction, obviously taking, steps to make sure we ensure everybody's safety. But under phase two, the doors are still locked, but we are bringing producers in by appointment. And so producers need to call ahead, make that appointment, and then we'll bring them in. Depending upon how things go this week, Ken, we could see hopefully, several more counties go into that phase two. But again, obviously in areas that we start seeing an increasing trend of these COVID cases, it raises concern, and we want to try to continue to protect our, not just our employees, but obviously our customers that are very concerning for us as well. So we've got offices definitely transitioning into that and trying to work through that. Ken, part of that, what they're doing, the offices are using to evaluate that is what we call our local food and ag council, and they consult with other groups, whether it be extension, NRCS, or anything to help make a decision. But part of that key component there that obviously our local managers always do and relies on feedback is our local county committees. Those local county committees are a representation of our producers out there. And, not only are they helping us, determine and help work with policy and getting that programs effectively out there to our producers in the counties, but obviously they play an important role in even just the running of an office out there to help ensure that we've got a very effective and efficient offices out there.
And just quickly, folks, every year there's usually counties have positions either open or up for election to serve on those county committees. What that deadline is coming up here is still a few weeks away to file, correct?
Ken, we still got a couple of weeks before that deadline for county committee elections are coming up here. Ballots, offices are sending out those ballots, sending out those forms there. So definitely, if you have an interest and you want to serve on the board, or committees, I definitely encourage you to get out there and get into those positions. We'd like to see our leaders, our local leaders, serving in the county committees. We just can't be the agency that we are now without help from those county committees. It's one of the things that's always been dear in my heart for FSA, is that truly we're a reflection of the grassroots of our producers out there. And those county committees are obviously that critical link that we can't get it done without them.
All right, David, we appreciate the update with everything that's going on. A big task ahead. And of course, our hats off to all those county folks and all the great things that they do. So good luck with you and your wheat harvest. And I'm sure we'll be talking again soon with more updates. Thanks, David.
Thank you, Ken.
David Schemm, who is the Kansas Director for the Farm Service Agency, has joined us. Stay with us. We'll have more in just a moment.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and Liberty Link that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
As we wrap up another fiscal year at the Kansas Soybean Commission, we want to highlight some of this year's checkoff investments that advance soybeans as a crop. When the soybean farmers elected to the Commission determine how to invest checkoff dollars, the projects revolve around research, market development, promotion, and outreach. To highlight some projects in research, the Commission funded an ongoing project to improve sustainability of soybean production led by Dr. William Shapaw for $250,000. Additionally, the Commission funded a synthesis of soybean polyols project, which currently has a patent pending, as well as a topical lotion project and a study on managing herbicide-resistant weeds in western Kansas. These are just a few of the research projects funded in fiscal year 2020. As for international market development, the Commission collaborated with the U.S. Poultry and Egg Export Council to expand U.S. poultry and egg products to Mexico's processing industry. A collaboration with the World Initiative for Soy and Human Health funded participation in International Grains Program courses. Between these two projects alone, $160,000 was invested into market development, plus many more projects. To share the value of soybeans, the Commission funded many projects in promotion and outreach during fiscal year 2020. Projects in this category include soy foods promotion, the Emerging Leaders Academy, the Kansas Soybean Expo, plus print and digital media campaigns. Our farmer leaders look forward to wisely investing checkoff dollars in soybean promotion projects for fiscal year 2021.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, But how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and Liberty Link that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
These days, no one can afford to take the risk of being without financial protection against high health care costs, not even for a few days. Kansas Farm Bureau health plans offer short-term health care coverage to fill in those temporary gaps. Short-term health plans can provide you with medical coverage when you are between health plans, helping lower your potential financial risk. Learn more at kfbhealthplans.com or contact a Farm Bureau financial services agent near you.
This spring and summer, Kansans across the state have rediscovered the joy of buying local foods and are supporting local farmers and ranchers who sell their products directly to consumers in their communities. One of the easiest ways to enjoy local foods is by finding a farmer's market near you. Most farmers markets have implemented new measures to protect the health and safety of shoppers and vendors, knowing that the risks posed by COVID-19 are still present in communities across the state. Farmers markets are an important source of fresh, locally grown produce for many Kansans, along with a variety of other products made by local artisans. Farmers markets have grown to be a visible and important link between producers and consumers of Kansas products, and they provide farmers, particularly those from small and mid-sized farms, the ability to cultivate closer relationships with their customers. The Kansas Department of Agriculture, through the From the Land of Kansas trademark program, works with 65 registered farmers markets, providing informational opportunities like state and regional workshops and online marketing resources. KDA also assists the farmers markets with food safety best practices and promotes the markets across the state. The increased interest in local foods has only highlighted the importance of farmers markets as they serve a vital part of the culture of local communities. They also keep revenue in those communities, which helps to strengthen small businesses and the local economies. Farmers markets and the Kansas farmers whom you'll find there contribute to the health, well-being, and quality of life in Kansas. If you don't know where your nearest farmers market is, you can find an interactive map at FromTheLandOfKansas.com that will direct you to a farmers market in your area. I hope we'll meet you at the market this summer.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
No one plans to get sick or injured, but when life happens, it's important you and your family are protected. Kansas Farm Bureau health plans are there to provide continued health care coverage to meet your needs. Choose from a broad range of individual and family plans. And if you're over 65, we have options for you too. Learn more at kfbhealthplans.com or contact a Farm Bureau financial services agent near you.
Over the last 13 months, the National Cattlemen's Beef Association has submitted 21 sets of public comments and more than 100 research studies in support of beef's role in a healthy diet to the Dietary Guidelines for Americans Advisory Committee. Included in the comments were numerous studies reinforcing beef as an important source of high-quality protein for all ages. This includes checkoff-funded research demonstrating how lean beef can be the protein of choice in many healthy dietary patterns like the popular DASH and Mediterranean diets. Research also was submitted showing the benefits of low carbohydrate and higher protein diets, such as the BeefWise study that found lean beef as part of a healthy and higher protein diet can help people lose weight while maintaining muscle mass and heart health. Additionally, recognizing that the forthcoming dietary guidelines will be the first to include recommendations for infants and young children from birth to 24 months of age, NCBA submitted comments about the critical role of beef in growth and development. Beef is especially important as a high-quality source of iron for pregnant women, infants, adolescent girls, and women of childbearing age. The committee report will be released in mid-July. On August 11th, USDA and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services will hear oral comments from the public. NCBA will request an opportunity to again provide comments. The final dietary guidelines are expected to be released at the end of the year.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and LibertyLink that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Hey guys, Colette with Paragon Ag Advisors, a division of Keiko ISOM. The big talk this week is wheat harvest going well and mostly focused on next week's quarterly grain stocks and acreage report. Many are predicting high bean acres and even higher corn acres with high ending stocks and a bearish outlook. Not good for a corn market that's been sideways for over 2 months. Beans haven't been over $8.85 in almost 3 months and have yet to fill a gap at the $9 level. There isn't a lot of news to support the bulls right now, as there's still a lot of uncertainty about China and their performance on the trade deal, as well as what kind of lasting effects coronavirus will have on the markets or political relations with China and others. In other news, the US dollar has moved down off of the highs from March and will be something to keep an eye on as we move through summer and see if COVID resurges this fall. Cattle markets are another market to watch. Trade has been sideways for much longer than we typically see, and many are concerned about what happens this fall if packing plants lose workers or have to shut down because of the virus, with many people using this to call for reform to the packer industry as a whole. We all know there are a lot of moving parts in the ag industry, and there is lots to pay attention to right now especially. Do not let your marketing fall to the wayside. It is important as ever to be marketing proactively. If you have questions on what that might look like for you or what you should be doing, give us a call at 888-452-8751 or visit us at keiko.com. I'm Colette at Paragon. Have a good day.
Well, that's our show this week. As the annual ritual of wheat harvest continues around the state, take a second look. Slow down. Safety for you and those you meet or come up to on the road. You can be social with us by going online at kansasagreport.net. Like us on Facebook at Kansas Ag Report Television Show. Follow us on Twitter at Kansas Ag Report. I'm Ken Rogers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.